Hey folks, this is Vince with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly revisit MewnBase. So this is a game that will be releasing out of early access soon. The current price for it is about 10 bucks. So if you like what you see here, you can head on over and pick up the game. I am playing on the experimental 1.0 branch. So what you're seeing here, for the most part, should be reflective of the finished product. And I'm going to take you through this manually because I'm pressed for time. Normally I would do a voiceover and all that jazz, but this is just easier for me to do at this point in time. There's the options menu. Just pause if you want to see any of that in greater detail. When you do start a new game, there is a tutorial, a normal mission, and a creative mission. And typically, you're just tasked with surviving on a planet for a very brief set of time. Once you get past that and quote unquote win the game, you still have to build the rocket and escape. So I really don't know why there's two victory conditions. Like it'll say land on planet UTZ 403 and survive for 35 days. But in this 1.0 version, you still have to build the rocket to escape. So I don't know why there's both a 35-day like survive for this long kind of thing when there's a rocket ship that you need to build anyway. Like it doesn't make any sense from a gameplay standpoint. Either it be one or the other. In Days of Yore, once you survived the 30 some days, you would click on this starting pod and you would just automatically win. But they have since added that whole rocket launch thing. I'm gonna load up my game to show you like the end game content. Essentially, you're thrust down onto this moon or whatever it is, hence the name MewnBase, and you're a cat. But hey, you can still walk around on two hind legs as, typical of a biped, right? And you're going to be tasked with surviving. In the upper left-hand corner, there's oxygen and energy that you have to worry about. Running out of suit power isn't so bad, you just can't use your flashlight. However, running out of oxygen is bad because that will deplete your health in the upper right. Also, this hunger bar, when that reaches 0, that's also going to deplete your health, and should you die, well, you're dead. So these basically health is determined by oxygen and hunger. Just keep those two things satisfied and you'll be fine. Now, as you play, you're going to find these little cubes in the environment, somewhere on the map. And you're going to bring them back to your research lab. And I've researched everything already, but as you can see, these things will provide you with new technology that will, help you survive. There are bots that help you repair your base. There's the rocket ship stuff that you need for the end game. There's even like vehicles that you can drive around, different forms of power, different kinds of food. So all of that is cool. And there's even like each of the research cubes will be like a special item. This is just for like aesthetic purposes, like, oh, I've collected everything kind of thing. It has no bearing on gameplay whatsoever. But yeah, this is the current base that I've got set up. And yes, there are miners that you get toward the end of the game that let you automatically mine for resources. There's a health station that you get later on that lets you just recharge your health, which is great. Various crafting stations, but typically you'll find all of the craftable materials in the environment. If I open up my map, you can kind of see what I'm getting at. And this isn't a game where you need multiple bases. Like, as you can see, I've neared the end of the game, and just by going out into the world and coming back, I've managed to build myself a base. Now, some of the better resources, like the more advanced resources, are further out. And my recommendation is at that point, you're going to need to bring like water with you, so for food, or there's oxygen tanks that you can bring with you, just sort of consumables so that you don't die while you're trying to go to and from. But that's the general gameplay flow. Go out into the environment and collect resources, bring it back, and craft stuff. And eventually you can build a base. When you're inside your base, like I'm inside my base, your oxygen and your power will recharge, assuming that your base has those things. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see your base stats: oxygen, power, water once you have access to it, fuel once you have access to it. And you can even build storage containers and color them, which is kind of cool. Unfortunately, the storage containers are extremely small, so you're gonna have to build quite a number of them, and there's no way to like stack beyond 20, which is awful. So in some ways, this game isn't as good as it could be. I was actually surprised to see it release in the 1.0 status. I feel like more work could be done on this game to make it even better. There's no way to customize your starting experience, no way to see the world that you're generating. But for $10, I feel like I've gotten like at least 5 or 6 playthroughs out of this, and each playthrough is about 3 or 4 hours, I guess less if you really know what you're doing and you can like beeline right to it. But I like to build everything, and I don't want to like show too much and spoil it. So I would simply leave it here and say I feel like this is leaving early access too early. That being said, you know, this is like a short survival game. This is like one of those, like, I don't want to spend 3 years in Ark Survival Evolved again, so I want to play a survival game and get that itch, but I don't want to spend too much time doing it. This is one of those games where you can play it in a couple of days, you know, 1 hour here, 1 hour there, or just cram it all in one night and be done with it, or a couple of nights and be done with it, because it doesn't take that long to beat whatsoever. So for $10, it's not bad. I just wish there was more content. Again, I was really surprised with it leaving early access as quickly as it did. It's been in development for a very long time. I have to wonder if the developer just decided they had enough of it and just wanted to release it. I hope that they continue adding to it over time. I wouldn't mind seeing like a DLC or a sequel to this, because I think it is worth the $10, the amount of playtime I've gotten out of this. I had the itch.io version originally, which I had like 10 or 12, 20 hours in, and then this Steam version I've got 12 hours in. So for $10, I feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of it, even though I did get a press key originally. So there you go. That was MewnBase, and again, I tried not to show you too much. You could build other bases if you want to. You could expand, but there's no reason to, and that's what makes me sad. I wanted more. I wanted to build outposts and manage things like in Subnautica, but here it's so simple that you really don't need to. So again, it depends on the kind of base building mood that you're in. If you want something light, this might be what you need. If you're in for something very heavy, then this game is not for you. Well, this is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.